Hi everyone, my name is Leela, and I am so excited to share with you today 3 tips for improved posture. I tried this with my friends and a lot of people really like it, so I'm going to share it with you today. First thing that you need to know is that this is not medical advice. I'm not a medical professional, so if that's what you're seeking, you need to look elsewhere. The second thing I want to share is that as a professional modern contemporary dancer, I found the posture concept nebulous, and I thought, well, if even as a dancer I find posture a nebulous concept, then I think it's an important thing to address. So here we are. I used the advice of 3 different mentors to put these 3 quick tips together, so I'd like to thank them along the way as well. All right, let's dive in. So for each tip, I'm going to describe the part of the body that you're going to use and then the action that helps improve your posture as a result of that. So basically what we're undoing is the turtle-like posture that office work, technology, tiredness, all of our screens help us with the curved spine and the extended neck, and we end up with that. So we're going to be undoing that. And also the goal of posture, in my opinion, is that really it should become effortless. So once you have the basic building blocks, you don't have to think about it a lot. It's just part of who you are and how you move and what you do. So that's our goal today. So first thing, like I said, I'm going to describe the part of the body that you're going to use and then how to use it for improved posture. So the first thing that you're going to find are your abdominal muscles that are called your transverse abdominal muscles. And I like to think of explosive paint covering the front of my pelvis between here and here. So if I had paint explode and cover that part of my body, pulling in all of my belly muscles behind that paint, that is engaging or activating your transverse abdominis. And so it's like putting on skinny jeans. You know, you're putting on your skinny jeans and you're sucking in your belly to clasp them and zip them. So it's not like skinny jeggings where you stretch and wiggle and things like that. But you got your skinny jeans and you're going to suck your belly in to clasp them, zip them, and that's exactly how your transverse abdominis muscles are engaged. So I'd like to thank my mentor, Bill Wade, for that image, and also just the understanding of how the transverse abdominis muscles move to suck in, and they can support your body pretty effortlessly once they're engaged with minimal effort. And so that's a very important tip, number 1. Is to access those and get those muscles engaged. The next are your mastoid processes. So these nubbly little Frankenstein bones at the base of your skull. They're somewhat on the same level as your ears. I like to put my thumbs in the bottom of this bump, and you're going to get your thumbs kind of under these, so press in with your thumbs a bit. So you get them in there underneath on each side. Now, after sitting or standing with your feet on the floor, you're going to suck in and engage your transverse abdominal muscles at the same time you're lifting in and up from your mastoid processes, and so to lengthen your spine up. Now, the transverse abdominis is all you need to support this action. It's like a shelf that your whole body is resting up on top of once you get to your highest point. And so the action of lifting up the mastoid processes and letting the rest of the body hang from there, I'd like to thank my mentor, Jean Jarrell, because I learned that concept from her. And she was one of my professors at the Laban Center, London, which is now called Trinity Laban. And I found that to be really valuable in my professional career. So that's step 1 and step 2. So now let's find the last body part for the 3rd step, and you are on your way to improved posture. So the last tip is the posturing of the pelvis. So this is not a movement or an action, but it's really a simple check. So, and it's an important last tip to check, because sometimes in the process of doing step 1 and step 2, sometimes our pelvis either tends to get overextended to the back or tucked under to the front. So this 3rd step is really checking, because if your pelvis is tucked under, it can be harder to maintain that posture. And also if your pelvis is extended to the back, it can be hard and just way too much work to maintain your posture. And again, the goal is to be minimal effort, just become a part of your life. So No good tucking under or overextending. We want your pelvis to hang in a neutral position. So if your pelvis is in a neutral position, it is hanging effortlessly, it's not overextended or tucked under. And to go into detail of how you find this, this butterfly-shaped bone here is your pelvis. So it's got 3 points that you can really double check to see if you have a neutral pelvis. You got your 2 hip bones, and this bone here is called your pubic arch. And if all 3 of these are in a flat, vertical wall-like plane, then you know that your pelvis is in neutral. And if you need to lie down on the floor to find this is helpful for me to put my knees up and lie on my back and check and make sure that those 3 points were in a flat, horizontal tabletop position. If that helps you to go horizontal to check on that, then go for it, and then you can access it better when you're standing up. So you're going to tip your pelvis if you need to tip it. It might already be in a hanging neutral position, but if you need to tip it, then you're going to tip it till bones 1 and 2 and 3 are making a vertical wall. Like I said, just like the wall of a room, going straight up and down. And so that check is step 3. And I'd like to thank my mentor also at the Trinity Laban at the Laban Center, London, Aude Osbo. She is a Pilates teacher in London, and she's the one that taught me the concept of having a neutral pelvis and what that looks like with those 3 points. So thanks, Aude. And lastly, let's put those steps together. So I'll practice with you sitting and standing and then sitting so you can get a feel for both, how it works. So sitting, first you're sitting, sit however you want to. Hand on your transverse abdominis, hand on your mastoid processes. As you lift in your transverse abdominis, you're going to be pulling up on your mastoid processes at the same time. And then you check that your pelvis is in a neutral position. Lastly, what you want to do is relax your shoulders and relax the rest of your body. Sometimes our shoulders want to help us improve our posture. It doesn't really help. So we're going to let them relax while you remain supported with the rest. And now I'll practice it with you standing. So first, you got your hand on your transverse abdominis, hand on your mastoid processes here. So you're going to suck in your transverse abdominis at the same time you lift up your mastoid processes and check that your pelvis is in that neutral position. Relax your shoulders, make sure everything's relaxed. And now you're ready. Okay, one more practice so that I can send you off on your way. All right, here we go. So hand on your transverse abdominis, mastoid processes. Activate, get your transverse abdominis engaged. As you lift up your mastoid processes, check that your pelvis is in a neutral position, that your shoulders are relaxed, and everything else is relaxed. And now you're ready to work and play and look oh so fabulous and oh so confident while you're doing it. So thanks so much for being here. I'm so glad you stopped by. Please leave your comment. I would love to hear what you have to say. And thanks a lot.